Okay. Yeah, I like it so far. I'm just not sure if I should go like painterly or more graphic shapes.
I think that's personal.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not trying to force my thinking down your throat. I'm trying to just kind of guide you on whatever it is you're trying to do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if you like a more graphic style, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Okay.
What I probably and again, when we have these in process, it's a little harder for me to comment on them because a lot of times I'll go, I would do this, and you go, yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but one thing I would probably try, I like these. I think they're reading really well.
Okay.
Watch that hand.
Yeah, I haven't gone to fix that.
But like here, I might try and get a little. See if I can do it this way. By the way, I was trying to think. I want to show you guys something real quick. Well, I'll do it in a little bit. Don't let me forget. I'll try and do it. Remember last time I wanted to show you guys this thing and I forgot what it was?
Mm-hmm.
I might try and get a little warmth going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a, sort of, whatever you call it, deserty environment. And I usually start with sort of washes, just like I do with real paint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of building up.
Okay.
And at some point I got to really, there's a lot of this in here. So this is kind of a nice color to reference. And I don't know, I could, if you want to keep it graphic, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get him into sort of like that, that really kind of beautiful, warm, orangey sienna brown horses get on him.
Yeah.
I'd get some of that on him.
Okay.
And, I'd have to build it up and all that.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good. Same thing here. I'd get some, that's too much. I'd get some of that really nice burnt sienna on him.
Mm-hmm.
But still a little, and a lot of times I do this, and then if it's digital, obviously, I'll dial it in. Now down here, I can get a little bit of this bounce slide under here.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this on a separate layer, so I can be careful with this leg here. I don't want it screaming. I want it
subtle.
Yeah, pretty subtle. And I'd probably just go find me a horse and just sample the color right off of it. So you get these really nice warm hits. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then they can get a little bit of a sheen on them, a little bit of almost like a specular highlight almost.
Mm-hmm.
This guy might not do as much of that on. Maybe a little bit. And I might come in here and just separate a few of these. And this is just what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't mean it's what you exactly have to do or anything. I'd probably separate a couple of these, get a few highlights on it, not overdo it.
Yeah.
And I break this up probably a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That hard edge like that. See what I mean?
Okay.
And like where I can, even if I'm doing a graphic kind of thing, if I can here and there, I'm gonna do things like that, like break all these hard edges because I don't want hard edges everywhere, even if you're doing a graphic style, right?
Okay.
And I might even kind of come over this a little bit here and there. That's up to you again, because I might lose a little my line work and go more a little tonal there, just here and there.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Now I know that this environment has this in it. So now I can put a little of that here if I want, because this is a down facing plane.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll go in here. You already got a shadow value in there, so that's fine. And so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I really like this ground. I like a lot of things in here. I like this background. I like this ground. And this is all just painted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nice.
don't have any like brush or preset brush. Is that maybe the leaves on the trees?
Yeah, that's fine. It looks good.
Thank you.
I think it looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do the crappy job I just did on this horse. Do a better one.
Okay.
You know, sometimes if the horses, you know, I don't know if they sweat or not. Do they sweat, horses?
I have no idea.
Because sometimes they look sort of sheeny and they'll even pick up some of the blue from the sky. I don't know if they're just shiny or what
I
they are.
think
They
I
are
think that's just their hair.
yeah, I think they're just sort of shiny. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. One thing I also might do is I might come back in here.
Mhm.
Hang on. Like, and maybe just break up a few of these edges. Like that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Like leave up some of them hard, some of them soft edge. You know, that nice little balance of things. And you can still stay in your graphic language, but you're still softening an edge here and there, right?
Yeah.
It's really, I think it's really important.
Mhm.
Because what you see a lot, and I don't think you're doing that here, what you see a lot is people just go, they lay in flat color because like you started here, but they lay in flat color and then they don't do any reflected light. That, oh, and we talked about this, right?
Mhm.
You know, they don't do any of that stuff. And it's like, okay, I mean, you can make a flat style your style, that's fine. But I think it's nice to, you know, mix it up a little bit because you got a lot of light bouncing around in this environment.
Yeah.
You know, like a lit environment like that is really throwing a lot of light all over the place, you know, and a lot of warm light. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good.
definitely gonna add more into it.
Yeah, just sort of polish it, you know, just work into it and then work into it till you go, okay, I'm kind of don't know what to do here. Take a break.
Okay.
Because what happens is you start just pushing through. And if you have the luxury of time, which is why I'm giving you guys time, it really helps to come back to it, you know, to just let it go when you've sort of lost the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's always some point for the most part where you kind of go, I'm out of steam. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
When you come back to it the next day, you'll know what to do. You know, because here's what always happens with me. I go, I think this thing's almost done, right? I'll let it go for right now. I don't know what to do. I think it's almost done. I come back the next day and I'm go, this isn't even close to done. You know what I mean? It's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, what did I, you know, but it's just that luxury of time. Okay.
Right.
And what I'm trying to build into your thinking, which I know I've already said, is when you get a job, get on that thing. You know what I mean? Get on that right on the front end of it so you have time. Yeah? Did I freeze?
Mm-hmm. I think you did.
But use your time wisely. Cynthia.
Oh.
Hello.
Get some more value on there, yeah?
Okay.
Because until, you know, as soon as you get that on, then we can talk a little more about color, yeah?
Okay.
Hey,
Sounds
Amelia,
good.
what's that?
Oh,
Cynthia?
nothing. I just said it sounds good.
Oh, okay. If you have any questions, let me know, though.
Okay.
You know,
Thank
if
you.
anybody has any questions, let me know. We're doing the schedule right now. It's a big pain. And I ate too much pizza. Hey, Amelia,
Hello.
did you send me a thing about color?
Yeah. I didn't attempt because
That's
I
fine.
was yeah.
Okay, so what do you, from what point of view, you're talking about just getting a coherent color palette together?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, obviously there's a lot of ways to do that, but one way, and I'm just going to do this okay, so do you see this as a bright color thing? Do you see it as
Right. I
right?
feel like
Okay,
yeah.
so okay, so you got some colors up here. You think it's something like that?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I feel like I have a hard time limiting it because I want it to be like stylized and not
Okay.
everything is like a direct color of what the object
Sure.
would be.
Absolutely.
But it's hard.
Okay, so which ones of these do you like?
I really like that lighter teal. Like it looked really nice on
This
the
one?
established. Oh, the one next to it.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
really
let's
liked
take
it on
that.
the ocean.
What's that?
I just really liked it on the ocean in the establishing shot. So I was like, "Boop,"
Okay,
and
so
it was
let's start with that. Okay. Have you had color theory?
nope.
Okay, well, you need to take, and what I'm about to talk about is a little bit of that. I can't go totally into it because it's not a color theory class, but we can talk about it a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I need to take it still.
Yeah, color theory, basic design, all those things are important. Take Todd,
Okay.
because I know he actually cares about it. Okay, I'm going to take this into Illustrator real quick.
Is value like is my value okay?
Here's the one thing I'd say is don't go all the way to black.
Okay. Oh, that was just like my line art. Like it had
Okay.
flat blacks in it. So
Okay.
I just
That's fine. But anywhere you can have color, and it depends on how you're going to do this, but I'm going to show this in a way that's pretty, it's a way I use all the time. Okay.
Also, I'm not gonna have it like directly black. It's just that way because I have it on like multiply, but I want it to be like a blue for the line
Okay.
art
What
and
I'm
stuff.
saying is whenever you are, and if you're going to do it the way I'm going to do it right now, don't go 100% to black. Go somewhere like maybe here. Can you see that?
Hold on,
This
let me
gray
move
right here.
Yeah.
Like, and establish that as your darkest dark, then build all your values around it, and you'll see why in a second. Okay.
Okay.
Because then that will look like you're black because it's your darkest dark, right? Did you bring enough for everybody, Candace?
Everybody except you.
Damn it.
You say you had pizza.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
already
that
ate too
too.
much. I'm obsessed with food. I admit it. By the way, Easter's, I made ham, grilled asparagus, scalloped potatoes, and mac and cheese.
Oh my God.
You go, Mike.
Okay, so I just put this in here because it's just easy to do in here. There's ways to do this in Photoshop and stuff, but I just like this tool. So I'm going to go, let me get rid of this. I'm going to go here and select that teal you liked. And then I'm going to make a swatch. And then I'm going to go in here. Now, all these are, for me, is Kickstarters. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I'm not going to rely on it 100%, but it might give me some nice ideas. And then I'm going
It's
to go
just
here. Go ahead.
oh, I don't know. It's just really hard digitally compared to traditional because I can just like take a palette that I have and like use the restricted colors
Well,
and
you
then
can do
go
that
from
here.
there.
I can do that here if I pick this and I go to, I don't want that. Here. So I'm just going to come out here, and right now what this is on, and these are just all color theory things. Okay, analogous, complement, left complement, split complementary, complementary, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
So, you know, if I come in here, you could actually just go through here and start going, do I like any of these? They're all going to be fairly harmonious because they're color theory, you know, quadratic, triadic relationships, things like that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So, you know, I can come in here and just go, and then here it's giving me shades and tints of that palette. See that?
Mhm.
So that can get me started on here. And then I can just adjust it from there. You can go here. Where is it? You can go here and you can adjust it again here. What happened? And if you notice, if I move this into a different area, it changes my palette based on that same color theory idea. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, another thing I could do is if I go, I like these colors, but it's too much. Then I could go, and a lot of time, and by the way, you can save these color palettes if you're logged into
Oh, you
Creative
froze.
Cloud, right?
You froze for like
No.
a minute for me.
You can save. You can hear me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can save these palettes if you go if you're signed into Adobe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you can go and pick them up in Photoshop or whatever you want. But what I usually do, like let's say you like that. Then I could come in here, and I'm just using that because I'm not signed into Adobe because the school has that. And I'm going to go, where'd it go? Right here. And let's say I could pull it in here and I could go, well, I like this color here, and I like this color here, but these are a little saturated for me. And maybe I'll just select those and just go Command U and maybe desaturate those a little bit. And maybe that's a starting point for my idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a Kickstarter. The other thing, and you've probably seen these before, is I can go, I don't know, let's try this. So you like that teal, so maybe I'll come in here and go, let me find something. Like maybe it's this. No, let's try this. So I just typed in teal interior, right? And the reason I'm doing that is because I know I'm going to pull up like some interior design things where they've already, put colors in there that are harmonious. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
And again, it's not going to generate my whole palette, but it might just give me some ideas. Okay.
Okay.
So then I'm going to go here. There's different variations of this online, but I'm going to go to Adobe color wheel. And I'm going to get basically the same thing we just saw in there, except I can come here and go to extract theme and go, oops, I can see the name of this file. Name of the file is, well, download.jpg. Okay, that's weird. And I'm going to go extract theme, or I'm just going to drop it. I can just drop it in here. And then it's going to generate a palette, right?
Mhm.
So, and then on top of that, I can come in here and move these around and get sort of what I actually want here, like maybe there. And it's just going to harmonious it out. And look it's going by, right now I don't have anything. So you can go to colorful, it'll pick the colorful stuff. You can go to bright, muted, deep, dark, blah, blah, blah. And then you can come in here and there's different ways where you can manipulate that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And what I'm saying for this is just let it be an idea starter, right?
Okay.
Because especially if you're on a job or something like that, you don't do this in lieu of knowing color theory or whatever, because every time I've ever done this to speed up a job, I still come in and I tweak the colors quite a bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that might help you get started. And that's sort of using color, basically color theory language. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then I'm going to go over this one on Benton's and it'll apply to yours too. Okay.
Okay.
Because tonight I'm just doing sort of a check-in. I feel like everybody's probably in process now. Now, where is... Hey, Benton.
Yeah.
Where did yours go? I saw yours earlier.
I don't know. Where'd you put it?
Oh, that's weird. Hang on. I saw yours earlier. Damn it.
Need me to reload it?
That is super weird. I literally looked at it. Hang on. I'm going to go to the folder and see if I threw it out or not. Yeah, I'm going to open the folder.
Okay. Yeah, I can drop it again.
I don't know what happened there. That's weird. Okay, drop it in.
Okay.
I apologize for Natalie Squire's behavior, negligent behavior.
Wow, this is the first time I'm getting blamed. I don't know how I feel about that.
You get used to it.
It's an honor.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting, honestly.
Drop the file. Put it in there. There we go.
Drinking the magic water.
Good stuff.
All right, it should be in there now, Mike.
Okay. There it is. I bet you it's still in the folder there, but anyway, who cares? And let's go here. Let's go here. Oh, wait a minute. No, I did have it. Your name's not on it.
Sorry about that.
That's just great. If I wasn't so angry at Natalie right now, I'd really let you have it.
You're welcome, Benton.
Thank you for taking this one, Natalie.
Yeah, no problem.
Taking one for the team. I think this is starting to read really good. That's starting to. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I think in here we're getting a little dark. It's a little hard to read.
Yeah.
But that's an easy fix, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to do a glazing process on this?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do colors over top of the value, and then...
That's what I like doing.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
figured it would be easier to get the values in and make sure
Oh,
the
yeah.
values were reading.
That's one of my favorite ways to work. I go, just like a real painting, I go glazed, washy, get a little more opaque, and then fat paint.
Yeah.
And on this, and Photoshop, I do it on color. I start on color.
Yep.
And then we can, like here. And it's really fun to me because once you have that, I don't know what color, this thing's probably bluish, right?
Whatever color you want to put on there, it's fine.
No, I forgot we got this stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I got to put together the palette in there and it just makes me irritable that I have to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
And then what I like to do is I'm just throwing it down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll come in here, usually with a nice smudge, kind of knock it out a little bit. Might even let it just trail off back into the gray. You already got the values all set up, so it's super easy. You know, and then this guy's going to get a bunch of that, some of that reflected light in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. You know, as soon as you got that, and I also might go back in here a little bit with this guy and either you get a really soft, low opacity eraser.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe pull it out here and there. Like maybe on the top facing planes a little bit.
Okay.
Just because, you know, it can go a little grayer.
Yeah.
But I'm going to cover the whole thing for a second. And then go back to my eraser and pull some of this out so it's getting, you know. And where's the light coming from above?
So there's a light from the panel you're on right now. It's going to be lower left. There's a torch over there, so it'd be a warm light coming from there.
So you've already set it up to have like the warm, cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's easy.
Trying to plan that out before I got too far into it.
I'm going to lower the opacity on this a little bit. Because you want to keep it like not too crazy. Well, I mean, it depends, right?
Yeah.
You know, whatever color you're going to dial in. And then at some point, what I do is at some point, I'm building layers. And then at some point, I'm going to go to my opaque layer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also might start doing Oh, I got the opacity low. I don't want it low right now. You know, highlight a few things. I might even do a little of that here. But you got most of your highlights already worked out here. Oops. I'm just going to find a hot blue. This is probably way too much. I'm going to put it on its own layer because it's going to be too much. And I might even try and get a little bit of a couple of strong hits in there.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how bright this is, right?
Yeah.
You know, I might put a little, I might knock down some of this some more so I get a little bit of that gray under there so it might feel a little more worn, like things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say is then I might, you know, if it makes sense on one of these layers, you know, as I go to my fattest paint, let's see what this looks like. Yeah. Then I might start doing a little bit of, let me see if I can get a little high here. Probably wouldn't go this high, but I just need a highlight. And start using a little bit of that texture. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
That way I can start to break this up a little bit. I wouldn't do it everywhere, just do it a little bit here and there. And maybe like there where there's some worn stuff on things. You know, I gave you guys my brushes, right?
I don't think I've got your brushes.
Did I give you guys my brushes?
Not in here, I
No.
don't think.
Okay, I'm gonna put my brushes up by tomorrow. Okay. Also, in my brushes, there's a set of brushes from Greg Rakowski, who's a monster. In that file, there's also 2 Windows Media files of him doing a digital painting from beginning to end, and he's great. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'll put those in there. Yeah, just go. Yeah.
Yep, trying.
Just make sure we're reading this guy in here. Oh, you changed his hand, huh?
In the last panel, yeah.
No, no, this one. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's the one you're thinking of.
Oh, you did change that one. Cool.
I changed the last panel and I changed the guy whose head was too big. I tweaked him down a little bit.
No, all that looks good. What color is this guy gonna be?
He'll be like a purple.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna look very graphic novel-y if you build it up like that.
Cool.
You know? You good? You know what you're doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm on track.
I actually like having it where it ends about where we're at now, so you have that length over the weekend to fiddle with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just jumping through here real quick to see who's this? Oh, Lucy. Okay. I didn't see this done yet, did I?
No, you did not.
Okay, so what do you think?
I want to play around with traditional, but I'm having a hard time.
With?
Like, I'm using like a brush pen for the first time, and I'm having a hard time getting the right value I want.
What are you using for the value?
A brush pen and just water. I don't know.
I might just go. Are you just going to do it black and white?
Yeah, I'm gonna do black and white.
I just go use some black and white watercolor.
Just watercolor then.
Yeah, because you can really control that. Yeah.
Because I just have like a bunch of tools I wanted to play around with, like a calligraphy pen, but I'm also having a hard time with that.
Well, okay, you can do it. I mean, what are you doing? You're like putting down the brush pin color and then melting the line or the value of it.
Yeah.
With water.
Yeah.
Like you can do that, but I mean, you're gonna have way more control if you just use a little bit of watercolor, and then maybe come back in and play around with your brush pin on top of that, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
What I do like about it, I like that it's feeling like loose and personal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because to me, one of the things, and I probably said this 100 times, one of the things I like about graphic novels is they're the ones that I like. I'm not saying all of them. Is a lot of them are just really personal. The style's very personal. The point of view is personal. It's not part of some larger narrative by some company. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about it. And what I like about it in the context of this class is I want you guys to find your own thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you've got to experiment. And by the way, if you're experimenting, and I want to be clear on this, I probably said this, and I'm going to know the difference between half-assing it and experimenting. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not, because I'm seeing these things as you're plowing through them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you're making some really good discoveries and doing some really cool things, and then maybe you try something at the end, it kind of screws up one panel, I'm not going to knock you down for that. Does that make
All
sense?
right. Yeah.
Because I want you to explore. I want you to make good pieces and try and make good pieces, but I also want you to explore a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I spent like a really good day just looking through like comic books I have and just like taking comic panels. It was like really hard.
Yeah. But well, if this was easy, why do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If this was easy, anybody could do it. And then it wouldn't, who cares? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It made me have like total respect for people who could like crank this out in a week. I was like, dude, I can never.
Yeah, you could. It's just mileage, knowledge. It's mileage and knowledge and repetition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's also somebody clicks back the trigger and puts that gun to your head. That's your time. That's your deadline hanging over your head with a gun sticking right here. You learn how to do it.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I was just talking to somebody about this today. I mean, I've walked into places on job, Imagineering is a good example, where I was crapping my pants going in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're looking around in a place like that and you're going, oh my God, look how good these people are. And, you're actually inside there and you're seeing, like, looking in their offices. This is before everything was digital. And you're seeing their drawing board, their paintings and their drawings, going, oh my God, I'm going to get snuffed in here. You know what I mean? And then you just work harder. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And by the way, they wouldn't have probably hired you if you weren't of the caliber to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna, I mean, sometimes they make mistakes. Most of the time they're looking and they're hiring people they think can do the job. Okay. I even like I like how washy some of this is. Like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What I want you to start seeing is that I'm hoping you'll start seeing is when you're experimenting like this, you start to see maybe something happen, let's say with a wash or something like that, where you're not even, you're trying to control it, but it sort of does something like that. And once in a while, all of a sudden you'll go, oh, that looks sort of like that person's work that does this. That's how they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And and this is how it used to work for me. The way I used to think everybody was doing everything is they were like meticulously doing this, and then they made this wash and and they're not. They're doing it real loose. They're letting the washes start to do things. Then maybe they work back into it. And there's usually a buildup and a process to it, right?
Yeah.
It's not usually this it's why I don't like the word detail, because as soon as you said the word detail, everybody goes, okay, now I'm doing this. And you're getting all stiff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, like with things like this, like one thing you could do is you could wash it up. And then maybe you come back in with your brush pen and maybe you just define a few things. And again, not everywhere. And see how we can start to structure that?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what your brush pen does, is you just come in here and hit just what you need. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I love working over, even if it's pencil, I throw down loose tone and then I dance my pencil over it and I punch a couple of things. And it's like those two things dancing together and marrying together that makes it work. I'm not leaning on either one completely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I love to work super loose like this and then go in and work into it. And then like here, you could come in here and give her a couple of loose hairs, maybe. A little bit there. You did that there. Whatever. Same thing here. Maybe this could go a little darker, this whole thing. And then again, maybe you can come in here and just add a few little punches. So you're using your line, your lighter line, then you wash into it, and then you start refining and defining with a little bit of that brush pen over it. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You want to try that?
Yeah, I'll try that this weekend.
And then what I'm always looking for is little, like I love these little washes here in her hair. Yeah.
Honestly, that's like my favorite part that I did.
Okay, good. Then whatever your favorite part is, you know, working, you know, follow that thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to get you guys to. Even here, you could probably put a little wash down here. Who's that, Candace?
That was my little brother.
Okay, does that all make sense?
Yeah.
I think there's some cool things going on here, actually. I think these shapes back here are nice. I like these hair shapes. I like some of the stuff that's going on in here. And what I also like is this sort of breaking your lines and things like I'd argue that I like this wash better than this wash. This one. Does that make sense?
Oh, wait, why?
Because this one's like a little more rigid. The edges are very hard edged. It's
Oh, okay.
much more rigid than this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like if you can find some balance in there, start to control that thing, like there's the washes that you like these, which feel controlled, but they're still loose. Did you start up here?
Yeah, I started there and then.
Okay, do you see it? Do you see the progress?
Mm-hmm.
Look, overly stiff, too tight, still a little bit. Starts to break up a little here. You start taking some chances. Too dark right there. And then boom, you go to these loose washy things. And then as you get over here, you end up to here where now it's starting to feel like nice, loose washy, but controlled. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so, and this one looks pretty good. So just from there to there is a big progression. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any questions?
No.
That all made sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank
It
you.
didn't make any sense to me, but
Oh,
it's fine.
Mike, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
The thing you're doing when you go into Photoshop and they have like the gray, like the value already down, and then you color it. Is that a color layer on?
It's
the
a
layer
color
attributes?
overlay layer, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And that's a good starting point.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
I'd never seen that before.
Oh yeah, I like to build. I have a tutorial on if you want me to put it up.
Can you do that, please?
Yeah, it's a different view, but it's the same idea.
Okay, yeah, because I've been practicing my values, and
Yeah,
I've been doing like a lot of studies and stuff.
The tutorial goes from beginning to end.
Okay.
And it's just, a quick demo. I think it's like an hour, maybe. I don't know how long it is. Maybe it's longer. I don't know.
Mike,
I'll watch
you
the
did
whole thing. It's okay.
Go ahead.
Mike, you did it for Dart 107 last semester.
Yeah.
I can find the video like.
No, I
pretty
have
easily.
it. I have a good video of it. What was I going to say? Yeah, I do it in 107. I do it in Photoshop 101. It's just a good way to work. But the trick though is you want to do it just like an oil painting. It's called fat over lean. You're going to start off with your washy, loose washes, transparent washes over your full value underpainting. Don't let anything go to full black because full black won't take any color. So again, put your darkest dark at about 2 or 3 steps down from that. And it'll still take color, and then build out your values from there. And then at some point you'll sort of exhaust the color layer because it's only going to put so much saturation and all that on it, and even lightness, but you can really build it all up with that. And then I'll go to another layer. I might even pick a different overlay that's working kind of nice. And eventually I'm building up to my opaque layer on top of everything. And I'm usually using like a oily brush or something. I'm starting to get some nice brush work and things like that. Also, I'm using for my edges, I'm using a lot of, I have a set of smudge brushes. I basically use 2 of them for the most part. And I'll put that up with my brushes. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And my brushes,
Perfect.
like the group brushes or whatever the hell they're called, those used to be tool presets. Okay. So they used to come in as a tool preset, which was kind of a pain in the ass. You didn't have a preview of them. They've changed that. So when you double click, and by the way, the group brushes are the only thing that's a pain in the ass. You have to put them in individually. And then once you go into Photoshop, just take them all and put them into a folder for your brushes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And everybody knows how to make a folder and brushes and all that, right?
I do. I can't speak for the class.
Okay. If anybody needs to know that, then tell me. But you know, and put those in there, put the Greg Rutkowski brushes in their own file. And then what I do, you can see it here. I have to open a stupid file. Hang on. I go here, you know, and I have my favorites. And, you know, these are some brushes that I like a lot. And then I've got my smudges. These are my favorites. These are the only smudges I use. And I basically use this impressionistic blender. And sometimes it's this one. Once in a while, Pebble, but that's about it usually. And then I'm doing that to get my edges. And then these are really cool. And I'll give you these two. These are called Rusty Nib. And one of them that's really, there's a lot of them that are handy. But down here in the ink washes, there's one that's 80% tonal wash. Let's get rid of this. And let's go here. And this brush, these brushes, get a pretty nice kind of watercolory kind of look. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh man, that's nice.
Yeah. Do they does it automatically mix colors, or do you have to go in for smudge after that?
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's go. Way I do it, because I want to control it anyway. Then I go here, and if I start off with my impressionistic blender, which is the one I like a lot. Okay, so the impressionistic blender gives me a broken edge. That's what I like about it. So that's this one. So a lot of times I kind of start with that. Here's what you want to avoid, whether it's traditional or digital. You'll see people's paintings and everything is blended out. Everything looks like an airbrush. I can't stand that. Nobody can stand that. You want a variety of edges, okay? So let's get a
Dude,
Go ahead. What?
No, I took Photoshop and stuff in high school, and they taught us to paint like that because, like, it was a digital painting class.
Yeah.
And they just taught us the soft edge thing, and it was so bad.
That's because the teacher doesn't know how to paint. That's why. Okay, so let's put some of this in here, and then I can come here, and I can start to get some really nice painterly stuff, right? Now, if I go, okay, that's fine, but then maybe I want to go to a really sort of washed out kind of idea. I can soften some of these edges a little more, and I'm starting to get a variety of edges. Does that make sense?
I am going to do so much with your brush pack, Mike.
And then, and I'll show you guys some other brush stuff, like this broken edge up here. Now, another one up here that's actually, so those are the two I use the most. And then I might come up here and use once in a while. This one's kind of nice because it'll give a nice watercolor edge. God damn it, let me get rid of this. See that? So I want to control my edges just like I do with a brush, a real brush. Okay, this one's kind of interesting. I know I've only used it a couple times. So that one's just literally more of a directional thing. but it's nice. And then this one, you know, you can go in through hard dapple's pretty good too. See, that's pretty nice. That gets you that nice little watercolor washy edge. Does that make sense?
Oh
Yeah?
man, those look amazing.
Yeah.
Not really the brushes. I mean, yeah, they're good. You just got to know what to do with them, right?
Yeah. I mean, the brush helps. Like knowing what to do with it once you have it is important. But
Sure.
I mean, trying to set up a brush like that, like from scratch, like there's probably a ton of settings in that brush.
Well, there's, if you guys want, I can do a quick tutorial on it maybe next week on how to make brushes. And I'm not talking about stamp brushes. I'm talking about reactive brushes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, that's kind of I'll give you that tool set. So the smudge brushes will be in one thing. Rakowski, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But you can see how fast I can knock out clouds and stuff with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a cloudy sky in like 5 minutes this way. You know, and then I go in and and then I put in the clouds, and then I go in, I look at the landscape, and I go, ooh, down towards the horizon, I'm going to go back onto a color layer, and I'm going to pink up those clouds down on the bottom, and I'm going to go a little warmer on top. And man, it'll look like a Wyeth painting with those bitch and all those colors in the sky or in the clouds. But once in a while, go ahead.
Oh, what's that thing you said you were going to show us?
Oh, I'll show it to you in a minute. It's just a painting I want to show you guys because we're talking about when we were looking at all those other paintings and we're going, this could be improved. This could be that. I want to show you one actually I think is really badass. Okay. Because I don't want to just sit around and crap on other people's stuff. I also want to look at stuff that's like, this is amazing and here's why. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's Greg Rakowski again. But there's a couple reasons for it to me in this one I'm going to show you. It's not just that it's painted beautifully. There's some other reasons why I think it's great. Okay. Where's the Natalie?
I'm here.
Okay. So you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I just didn't get to spend that much time on this, but yeah, I know what I want to do.
Are you going to do the glazing thing?
No, I think I'm going to stick to black and white.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Traditionally.
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah,
ink.
you're good.
You're good. Any questions?
Not that I can think of really.
Okay, that's fine. When I ask you guys if you got questions, I'm not expecting you to come up with one. Okay. I just want to make sure if you have anything you're thinking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to have teachers and they go, any questions? I go, no. Oh, so you don't have any questions? And they get all snotty about it. They tell me I thought I knew everything, you know, and I go, it's not that I don't know I know everything. I just don't have a question.
I'm still trying to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, I always feel bad when I don't have a question when people ask about
You shouldn't.
Like,
just go, I don't have a question right now. I mean, the only time it bugs me is if it's somebody who's really failing and I'm going, you should have some questions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I think all you guys are doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. And the other thing I like about you guys is you're being very conversational. You're asking a lot of questions. It looks like you guys are starting to take some chances. I think that's cool, right? And by the way, I'll put that glazing video. I'll just put it up on under announcements. Yeah.
Cool.
And it's just it's a pretty simple process. Okay. Okay, so that's the ones I'm going to go through. Does anybody have any questions that I need to answer?
Not right now.
Okay.
When do you want them done by?
I'd probably like to get them wrapped up by Wednesday.
Okay.
That way it gives me one more talk and then you can make your last changes and then we can just go over it. Wednesday, we'll just kind of crit them. I'll see where you guys are at on Monday, but I think we should be okay. Yeah?
Wait.
I have a question about the finish since we're on that topic. I was wondering if you're requiring like inked line art and stuff like that. Like, can I do a sketch and then make it feel really painterly and artful, or does it have to be like, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
I don't want to dictate the style here. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So the first thing we did, I go, here's the text, illustrate it. And we go through that sort of process, right?
Yeah.
This thing is like self-generate. Okay. And part of my thing is I'm hoping that by going okay, this is my own kind of take on this thing, that starts to spill into the illustrative style, and you're starting to kind of think for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we all do this, and I've said this many times. It's another transitional thing where you're getting a lot of training and life drawing and perspective and all these great things, but then you've got to translate that into something. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You got to translate it into something stylistically or whatever that's compelling, you know? And it takes a little while to get that. I mean, I can go back and look at stuff that I did, and I'm like, why did I try to draw this so draftsman-y? It just looks stupid. You know what I mean? I should have went more stylistically fun and should have loosened up a little bit. It's weird how it takes. I'm just trying to compress that time frame is what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think is really, go ahead.
I was just bringing it up because I've been doing what you told me to do last class, and I've been like redrawing the character and trying to establish that character design from different angles and keeping it loose and making everything look a bit more organic. And I'm really liking the kind of like looseness I have right now.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if I can take that into the actual like
absolutely.
comic.
And you know what I'm doing right now? And I haven't told anybody this. I'm just doing a lot of stuff in my sketchbook, and it's giving me all these ideas for these things that I'm probably going to do something with. That's just coming out of me painting in my sketchbook. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
By the way, I just got the Jacquet's back on this one sketchbook painting I did. I got a 16 by 20. I'm going to send it out tomorrow. Came out really nice. I got two of them. One on
16 by 20 is really big.
It's weird because to me, 16 by 20 isn't that big, but when you see it as an image, like a portrait, it's big. But that's what he asked for.
Was it the bearded guy?
Yeah. That's Merle.
Yeah, I was watching your videos of that. That was really cool.
That's Merle Haggard's guitar player. If you know who Merle Haggard is.
It sounds familiar, but I think it only does because you talked about it.
If there was a Mount Rushmore of country music, he'd be on it. But anyway, Red was his guitar player. So I always said this. I'm swapping him for tickets and stuff. Okay.
You have Irene's drawings? Oh my God.
Do I?
It's like middle screen underneath the portraits.
I don't know where it is. Oh, that's right. I got to do something with her thing. I just remembered that. I'm going to use that to do a color demo or whatever. Okay, so that's that. We all know what we're doing, correct?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to show you guys, look at this.
Before we continue, I think I uploaded mine, but I think Docs might have deleted it.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay.
You have a question?
No. I just wanted to make sure that it got turned in.
Yeah, I got it. It looks pretty good. I think you need to add some shadow values and stuff, right?
Yeah, I didn't get much chance to work on values yet. I just wanted to see how the color, general idea I had for color played out.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So let's look at this. Hang on.
Oh yeah, Mike, I was wondering, what are we doing for the next project?
Probably editorial.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. So here's one. You guys can see that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, obviously the warm and cool thing. Okay, here's a whole bunch of reasons why this is amazing. The brushwork, the color. And here's the other thing. I'm not a big fantasy guy, and I'm not knocking that. Okay. I know you guys are probably like, what does he like? It's not that I hate it or anything. It's just not my thing, but I think it's cool and all. It's cool. Usually when I see stuff with dragons and all stuff, it's not really my thing. Now, here's the other thing with dragons. They're always portrayed probably slightly anthropomorphized. They're always portrayed, maybe sometimes they talk. I don't know. There's just a lot of things where it sort of has taken dragons into their own sort of category. Does that make sense? What I love about this pose is the ferocity of that thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That looks more like a wild animal, which to me, that's what that, for me in my brain, that's what that should be. This thing should be a terrifying pit bull on steroids. Does that make sense? And that's what that looks like. Okay. The other thing I like about this from a compositional perspective, I love that this wing comes all the way over here. You see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The lights coming through that leathery wing. And then the other thing I like is that this guy has resigned himself to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He knows it's over. Okay. Now, here's
gonna
go
stand
ahead.
here.
What's what?
I'm just gonna stand here because it's over.
Well, I mean, you just go, it's it. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can do. I mean, I had this, if you ever had something, like, have you ever been I was in a motorcycle crash one time, right? And there's this weird thing that happens where you're going and my handlebars clipped, it was on the freeway. My handlebars clipped this car, right? And then the handlebars went sideways and the whole thing went end over end, right? But there's a split second there and it feels like it's a long time. It feels like you actually have time to think it through. And so I was trying to sort of get control of the bike, and then all of a sudden my brain goes, that's it. And you just go. Roll with it, right?
That's the worst.
But it's weird. It's almost like calming. Your brain goes, there's nothing you can do. That's it.
Mhm.
Dang. And that's what that reminds me of. Okay. That you just go, it's done, right? Now, if this was a movie, how that would go is that thing would crawl over that thing. It would blow that fire into it, right through that canyon, right into the camera, cut, fade to the next scene. Because you know what happened. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. The other thing that's awesome about this, I mean, obviously the color and everything, but what I love about this is like this dragon, look, there's nothing there. You see that? Now, that doesn't mean you have to do your brushwork like that, but boy, that's nice brushwork. Okay. And then look up here. As we go up here, look how abstract that is.
Yeah.
And really, to be honest, that's why it works. He's not over describing anything. And then here, this guy, look at his helmet. It's totally abstract. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think this kind of brushwork to me, it's just exciting. It's got motion and, drama and action, And this guy, nothing there, hardly. He's not over rendering anything. Look, there's some nice texture brushes. These, by the way, the pack of brushes is by this guy. One of them, the Greg Rukowski ones are this guy. Okay. Look at this nice rough, how this rock meets the ground. Then he knocks down this. He probably knocked down the opacity a little bit because it's not, and then you go into your fire. There's a guy right here tied to a pole. You see that?
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. See it?
Oh.
He's roasting that guy.
Oh.
That's brutal, man. But one of the main, and then you can tell he sort of based it on a bat or something. It just looks ferocious, which I just think is cool as hell. And I love the way it's crawling down and over that mountain. You know what I mean? I mean, that would scare the crap out of you, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit of reflected light right there. That's just full on badass. Yeah. Look, and again, I'm not even into this type of fantasy stuff, but man, you can't deny that.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Hang on. Because I want you guys, I mean, I'm not saying you have to work this way, but I just want you to understand the power of abstraction in this kind of thing. Okay. Because a lot of times when people are thinking about very finished images, they don't think about abstraction. This isn't the one I'm looking for, but this one's cool. Here's another one that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, that kind of cloud work, you could do that knocking those all in, working the edges with your smudge brushes and things. He's got a lot of images like this one. They're pretty hard to tell they're not oil. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that looks pretty close.
I mean, if you just told me it was oil, I'd probably go, oh, yeah, okay. Unless you really looked at it, you really have to look for it. But at the same time, who cares? Why look for it? It looks cool. He does a lot of this kind of interesting stuff with crowds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in close on these things, you're going to get back into that idea of abstraction here. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's the trick, part of the trick. Give me enough. So I go, boom, I hit that, and then I flow into the crowd stuff. Because why? Because you gave me this guy. You gave me this guy. Gave me this guy. You gave me this guy. And now I can go totally abstract in here almost. Does that make sense? Look at it in here. But then when you back out of it, you get that. Yeah? Look at this. A lot of texture. Look at all this texture. And again, you don't have to use texture just like in this painterly way. There's a lot of ways you can use it. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Do you think he does it like the crowd on one layer or?
He probably does.
Hmm.
Once you know how to work abstractly like that, it's not as hard as it looks.
Oh.
You're sort of just creating this soup, and then you start pulling things out of the soup. Does that make sense? And by the way, like I said, the brushes I gave you, the Greg Rakowski brushes, there's 2 videos in there of him doing a painting from beginning to end. Okay. He pretty much just goes in direct painting, but it's just big shapes, work it into the shapes. It's really simple. Okay. And by the way, when I say it's simple, I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's a simple, kind of a simple process. Okay. Not that it's easy. That's what's so infuriating about it. You know what I mean? Because it takes you a long time to get to simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now some of them he renders out a lot more. I don't like those as much personally, but I mean, you know, it's a cool one. You're not usually going to get to that kind of thing with digital painting or whatever without knowing something about painting. This is a really cool one. I like this one. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll find some more. There's a couple more I wanted you guys to see, but I just want you guys to see that, you know, he's in the same sort of lineage as Craig Mullins. You guys know Craig Mullins, right?
Yeah.
He's sort of in that lineage. Yeah. Okay. But what I like about these is like whatever they were done for, you know, whether it was conceptual stuff, I have no idea. It probably was. And what's unusual about his work is that could be an illustration for a book. Okay. And most like concept design, I don't think would work for that. His stuff kind of works across. I mean, that could absolutely be the cover of a book or something. Does that make sense? Like a novel or some historical novel or something. And then look at this. Look at this stuff right here. Super badass. Okay. All right. It's enough of me. That's my version of fanboying out on somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what if he worked in anime? Would you watch anime then?
No.
Asking the hard question.
Wow.
No, you know what? I take that back because I don't like to shut out any genre. I don't like to do that. Okay. There's anime out there that I would like. I just haven't seen it. Okay. It's like I hate hip hop, but I'm sure there's some hip hop out there I'd like. You know what I mean? You can't just negate everything because of what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if somebody showed me, some interesting thing that falls under the category of anime, and I thought it was cool, I think it was cool. I'm not going to just not like. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be some old fart that goes, I don't like this, and therefore I don't like any of it. That's BS. There's probably no genre on the planet that maybe I don't like that there isn't something in there I like. There has to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you'd like the Animatrix.
I'll check it out. Is it on Netflix?
I think it is. I'm not entirely sure though. I know for sure it's on the HBO, but it's The Matrix, but it's anime.
Yeah, I'd check that out. That sounds interesting. I'll try that.
Yeah. And then there's also like there's like even like there's the Batman anime movie, and it's really cool because it was
Is that the
still made
Batman
by DC.
Ninja one?
Yeah.
That looked interesting to me. I don't know if the story was any good or anything, but the style looked interesting.
See, I knew it, guys. I knew it.
I brought that up in my class.
We talked about this last class.
This is what's weird about it. I'm just looking. I don't know nothing about Batman. I don't know anything about anime. I just saw a trailer for it and I go, that looks kind of interesting. And then I brought it up in my class, and then everybody, because they're all fanboys. This is a long time ago. Oh, well, that story is blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm just telling you, it looks interesting. I haven't seen this before. You know what I mean? It looked different. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it looked interesting to me. I don't know what the story was like. I don't know. I don't care that it's Batman can't be in that parallel universe because I don't care about any of that. I'm just looking at it purely visual. And I just go, I haven't seen anything that looks like this. I'm sick of Batman and Spider-Man and all that crap, but at least this is a different take on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you need something shorter, I actually haven't watched it yet. I haven't finished it.
Huh.
I'm still watching it. No, it's like an hour.
What's
it's just
that?
I was watching it for I was watching on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
But I was watching it for like 15, 20 minutes, and then I was all like, okay, this is gonna take up my attention. I need to get back to work. And I like turned it off for a moment because I needed to catch up. But if you want something shorter that's still Batman, it's not the same style, but it also looks interesting, and it's kind of anime still, is there's like this short that Cartoon Network used to do. It's called like Batman Shanghai. It's like 6 minutes long, and it has like a really nice style. You could probably find it on YouTube.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Just get these as far as you can by Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
If you need bounce to me and talk to me, I just had a meeting with a student today. If you need to do that or just send me something, take a look at it, send it to me. Yeah.
If I wanted to send you something tomorrow, what's the best time to get the quickest response?
I don't know. Just send it to me. I'll get to it as soon as I can. I'll try and get to it.
I just want to.
If there's a lag,
I wanted to do some more sketches
because I got to go. I gotta get a bigger mailing tube, and then I gotta sign this thing and roll it up and pack it all up, and then take it down to FedEx and get it out of here. But that's all I'm doing tomorrow. That and painting. Okay, guys. I'll see you on Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
Thanks, Mike.